The 5.5 was the fastest average of the whole weekend. And so he won a belt buckle.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
Yep.
All right, dude, let's do this thing. I'm excited. Episode 130 for the Drag Driver Pete Show presented by Summit Racing. Well, obviously, Wild West Dragon Dash just happened a couple weeks ago. Super excited about this event. If you guys haven't seen it yet, they were on with Adam Dory on the That's Cool Drink podcast. So we're going to kind of reference some of the stuff that they talked about in that. We're going to talk about some of the event stuff that went on during the event. We're going to go over the class winners and some stories from there. So let's introduce these folks. Let's bring them onto the show with us here. Do us a favor, introduce yourselves. Let's know who we're talking to, and then we want to know how this all came about.
Okay, I'm Porsche Dinsman.
I'm Ethan.
This is my husband, Ethan. So
awesome.
Yep.
Yes. So we started the Wild West Dragon Dash. We made it official. It was last year. It was actually, I got the 1 year anniversary today. From Facebook. So that was kind of cool. So it's been exactly 1 year since we decided that we're going to be crazy and enter this drag and drive world. So
right, this whole crazy promoter, like when we think about there's 4,000 plus drag and drive racers this year, but y'all, there's like 40 promoters. So when you start thinking about, like, you're in a very small group of people, so it's pretty awesome to have you here. Have you guys hosted an event before?
No.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Okay, well, Porsche did like PTO, so that is what it is.
I've done fundraising events and things like that. So
you've wrangled cats.
Yeah, but it's, obviously the drag racing part is way different. But no, we've never put on a drag race. So
ever.
That's awesome. And then you step into not only one of the hardest things with drag and drive, because you're driving around now, you're trying to figure out routes and stuff, but then you step into a multi-day, several track deal. Like, man, I can't imagine I know the struggles of putting one of these on, and Eric knows the struggles that goes into all this. So a big shout out to you guys for doing that. That's pretty awesome.
Well, thank you.
Sure. Luckily, Porsche's really, really organized. It just kind of went smooth. It was all right.
That's awesome. Well, Andy made me think of something. Guys, hit the share button as we move in here. Let's get these folks, as many people as we can, moving forward, because we know there is a 2026 event, so that's going to help. So you guys went into some pretty good detail on the Adam Dory podcast, but give us just a quick recap, kind of why you created this, how this all came about.
We saw a potential early on. Ethan had done Rocky Mountain Race Week starting in 2020 with my dad, and then in 2023 I joined in. I had noticed as we started going to more and more drag races in our area, people would stop us and be like, "Hey, y'all are the people that do dragon drives," and they would ask questions, and a lot of people started coming to us and being like, "We really would like to do that, but we just don't know exactly, like, we don't know how, we're scared to take time off. We're scared we're going to break." Just the ins and outs. I think it's really scary for outsiders who've never done one before or don't have somebody to kind of guide them or to help them along. And so I was at a race one time, and it was some friends that were throwing an event, and I sat there and I watched them, and I just kind of I was like, man, if they can do it, I can do it too. Like, obviously it was just a 1 day event that they were doing, but I was like, I would really love to see us do a drag and drive in our area, and not anything super big. But I was like, I just want to get people's feet wet and see. Yeah. And then it was about a year and a half ago, our local track, they announced that we were going to get a local track in our area. And so that kind of, I don't know. I just saw it. We
got to be pretty good friends with them. And we started helping out on track, and we're like, hey, you know what? This track life, I mean, there's a lot to it, but from our angle, right? If you own a track, there's a whole lot to it. But from our angle, like, we're like, I think we can still do. Me and Porsche were sitting there thinking, like, we can still do this.
Yeah.
Like, we got this.
And we could see that, like, oh, there's so many miles to the next track, and it's so many miles to the next track. And it was like, oh, wait, hold on. We really can do this now. I mean, we live out in the middle of nowhere, West Texas area. And that track kind of made it, Concho Valley. It's Concho Valley Dragway. They just made it possible. For us to even think of
a small event
doing something
that's
like
not,
this.
1,300 miles that you drive in, that, a lot of these people in our area, they're just heads up people, like, they're not wanting to go hit the road and drive 1,300 miles, but we're close and do it.
Look, we say it all the time. The weekend events are the gateway drug into
exactly
100%. And we're lucky enough that Matt is such a great promoter and helper of all of us smaller events,
Mm-hmm.
So, the struggle that we have seen when there were just big events was like you would have it's 9 days off. So folks like that live in Texas, it's a full day to travel to Rocky Mountain, if they were starting at Vandermeer or whatever, or in Kansas or Kearney, it's a full day minimum to drive up there. And then you're on the road 7 and then you're back a full day 9. So you're and you're wiped out. So it's another 2 days to get used to stuff. But one like this, folks can kind of come in, they can sneak in, they can do this, and they don't have to take a ton of time off, which is awesome.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. And that's and we had a lot of people from this area. I mean, a lot of people. One thing that was really cool about it is about 75 to 80% of our racers had never done a drag and drive before.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
So we got to introduce so many people.
Right before we did the drivers meeting, Adam was like, all right, I just got to ask, how many people have and have not? How many people have? And there was like a handful of people. And then how many people have not? And like the whole drivers and co-pilots and all them just raised their hand, and we're like, it just sunk in like, all right, well, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like we just ruined y'all's life.
Yeah, D-Works is a leading manufacturer of high-performance fuel system components. The DW product line includes fuel injectors, pumps, rails, regulators, filters, lines and fittings, plus pump modules and surge tanks, all engineered to support power levels from 400 to 3,000 horsepower. They got a new triple 810 pump out there with a focus on engineering excellence and industry-leading customer support. D-Works continues to drive the future of high-performance fueling, and right now they've got a Black Friday sale that's starting. I don't know when it ends. I didn't look at that because I was like, man, 20% off, bro. I may have to look at some parts over there for sure. And then, of course, DDR10 is our 10% discount code part. So you may drop that in there as well, just to see. I don't know if it will save you any money. It's definitely not going to save you off of the 20% already. That's for sure. So 20% off is a bunch when it comes to parts manufacturers these days. So take advantage of this, deechworks.com. Find all your cool stuff over there. And, just hit him up. Mark Campbell is an awesome dude and is super, super smart. So yeah, 100%. And so I grabbed a shot. Jesse Fox did an amazing job. The photos and videos and stuff from the event. I had serious FOMO watching the house here. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, you look out and 80% of the racers are new. That tells you something. 100% should tell you, hey, this is a need here. And like now it's funny. It would be funny to see how many of those racers end up doing like Rocky Mountain or one of the week-long events, in the next year or two, because I'm sure they're coming back to you guys. But how many are going to step up and go to a longer event?
Oh, I think there's going to be a bunch of them just from talking to everybody, as just in passing and all that. Like they're like, okay, well, I think we're ready. I'm like, well, I hope you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that
coming.
we talked about. Yeah, we talked about that during the award ceremony. We said, hey, don't stop at just us. Like there is so many amazing events out there. Go sign up. Don't just stick with us and that's it. Like go have fun. Yep. This is what it's for, is to get your feet wet and go run out. So
that's awesome.
We're excited. We're excited to, contribute to the community a little bit.
Well, and 2020, it was like a turning year. I mean, obviously Race Week was the first event I had done, and that was in 2020. And then from then it was over for my life. I was like, I mean, I'm fully committed to this, what we call lifestyle, this insanity that is from I don't know. It's crazy. It's awesome. And we're glad that you guys are here. You're part of the biggest year in history. What's crazy is we're going to say that again in 26. We're going to say that again in 27. I don't think this thing has any breaks at all for the next few years. And the cool thing is you guys can see from the comments over here on the side, like, I mean, everybody had a great time. They did awesome, smooth. It was awesome. Shout out to the wingers here. The right-hand drive Saki bomb will return. There's just a ton of really cool comments. I was there and they did an awesome job. Very well organized. And that takes skill to be set up right at an event like this, because it's not just a drag race where people are going heads up. So that's one of the hardest parts, is like you're collecting time slips from guys that aren't used to turning their time slips into anybody or putting it out or doing anything with it. And so now you're trying to train all these folks to come in and do all this stuff. So congratulations.
That's so cool. True.
100%. So like on the whole shout out on the wingers, like they are just big, no prep, heads up racing, like just fast people, right? Yeah. And they're the ones that own the track here in San Angelo. And the son of Mark Winger, he's like, man, I'm stuck. Like I'm doing it. I'd rather do this this and go heads up any day. You know, like he drove to North Carolina and picked up a car just to do this. And he was like, I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but we're going to try it out. And now he's like stuck into it. And he's like, look, where they at? Let's go to a bigger one. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We have a new word that I'll be using from now on. Rodney Harder. In Drag and Drive, you have to embrace the punishment.
That's true.
There's no better word than that, I think.
That's 100%.
I think that's
what we do here.
Yeah. Well, you guys kind of talked about it earlier about the gateway drug for the Texas racers. You guys had an interview with Adam Dorey where you mentioned that. And now that it's in the books, how many first timers did you have? And how did those newbies handle the week?
Oh, man.
I think we had 75 to 80% of the 78 cars that showed up to the Drag and Drive for the Wild West. Probably 75 to 80% of them were all newbies, have never done anything in the Drag and Drive world. It was kind of just like a new, vocabulary to them. And I didn't hear one person say that they weren't coming back.
Wow.
That's awesome.
We're going bigger and better, and I want to be faster, and I want this, I want that, and I want to be the baddest dude out here, or baddest girl out here.
Absolutely. I agree with that. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like they handled it so well. I mean, honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better first group of racers. And I guess I could call them like our OGs now because they're going to be their originals, and I could not have asked for a better group. They troopers all the way through. They grasp the concept of, hey, it's not just about you, it's about your fellow racers. Like, make friends, enjoy, talk to people.
Parking lot parties.
Yeah, we had
the whole realm.
I mean, I hate to say this, but I'm very thankful, and hopefully going forward we don't have any issues. But I mean, we hardly got any complaints during it. Like, nothing. And it was just such a good atmosphere. I felt like, we all everybody had smiles on their faces, and it was cool.
It's like a thing for car guys, but it's hard. Like, it's the punishment, man. That's going to be.
We had 8 people break.
Yeah.
Wow. And 2 of the 8 have done a Drag and Drive, and the rest of them have never done it in their life.
Yeah.
And every one of them were still thrashing, trying to figure it out, trying to make it work. And hey, I got to finish this thing. Like, that says something. It just does.
Yeah, they're motivated for sure. So.
That's
awesome.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, you also told the racers to give you guys some grace. It was your first year, and said that there would definitely be hiccups. What were the biggest surprises or issues you had during the event, and how do the racers respond to those kind of growing pains?
Well, I will say that even though, you plan, obviously things happen. We had a torrential rain pour. It rained and rained on the first drive day. And they got to the first track. They couldn't even enter the track if they were a lower vehicle because there was a massive river running in front of this track. And it was like, it was almost up to my knee, the water was. And so the lower vehicles couldn't
we had a 2,500 truck drive through, and it was up to the running boards of the truck. We were like, y'all just park out here. And then it got to the point where the track called us and said, hey, y'all are right on the curb. We're in oilfield country. You cannot park there. So we're like, hey guys, what do y'all want to do? Like, maybe go to a hotel and check in, like, or let's keep it moving because we're backed up all the way around the curve.
And massive 18-wheelers just flying by, and so I was getting nervous. And so everybody just handled it so well. And then finally, once the racers got in, and there was about 3 inches of water on the track, and everybody's like looking at us like, there is no way they're fixing to get this cleaned up. Well, let me tell you something. Pinwell Knox Raceway, they did it. They killed it. I don't know how. 3 inches. I mean, like, literally, there was massive pond of water.
It was quite funny because Gary got on his tractor with the brushes on it, right? And he just started going down, and he had a huge rooster tail just shooting off of the brushes, going down the track, just trying to get all the water off of it. It was hilarious.
And that dude is soaked.
Yeah. And we had talked to him before, and he was like, hey, if it quits raining, we're doing this. And everybody's kind of just looking at us like, y'all guys are crazy right now. You can't even walk through this. And
they're like, are y'all gonna call it? We were like, no, we're gonna see how this goes.
Hey, if we have to do practice tree races, we're racing today. We're doing something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they rocked though. That was cool. It was really neat. So that was definitely something like that you gotta go
with the flow.
Yeah, you kind of have to go a little bit with the flow because crap happens.
Yep.
And then
another thing is the classes.
We learned a lot about classes. That it's hard to make others happy.
Don't get too deep in that because we're going to talk about that in a minute. Because
for sure.
Got some good stuff. Yeah.
Well, you guys had 3 days of racing and 3 tracks, so that was kind of your format. How did that work out?
Oh, it was.
It went off without a hitch for sure. It went good.
Right.
I will say the last day wasn't as good as we wanted it to be. We learned a lot of things off of that. We'll get into that because I think we're going to talk about it here in a little bit. But we learned some stuff off the last day of when we should plan, what days we should do what we're going to do.
Yes, definitely. When it came down to like the award ceremony or like having everybody drive in award ceremony, and then we did a bracket race after, I think I would change some things.
Yeah.
And so I think we definitely will moving forward. So
awesome.
Lessons you learn.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what you realize is like a 3-day event, there's really not much time. You have like all this time, and then where did it go?
Exactly.
Really, what happened?
Exactly.
Yeah, don't blink. Yeah.
So did you guys have the racers park at the first track, and then it was like park, tech, and drive? Is that how that worked?
Right.
That's exactly.
Yep.
So
I like that. And
that's
that's a great way to get 3 different tracks, which really, as a racer, that would make it even harder because you have, so like for us, we do Tulsa somewhere in Tulsa. And so, when they come back to Tulsa, they have all of that data from the previous time if it was close. Like, I like the 3 days, 3 different track deal. That's kind of cool.
Which is kind of funny too, because I think a lot of them thought, hey, I'm so close to home, and they might be 300, 400 miles away from home, but they're still close if you really think about it being in Texas, right? Yep. And so they were still just throwing all the sauce to it, and it didn't matter. We're going to do it because I'm right here. And then if they did break, it's like, oh, wow, I'm way away from my vehicle right now.
Yeah, your drive today may have only been 120, 130 miles, but you're a long way from home.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
How cool. Well, let's get into some of these winners. Let's talk about, we're going to kind of run down through. I want to start with Run What You Brung, because I feel like that class is probably like unlimited. It just lets somebody run whatever they want to. So we have the winners here, but I want to hear stories from the class too. So winner of that class was Casey Hewitt, 687 average across the 3 days. Didn't look like he had a ton of competition in that class, which really surprises me because some of your other classes had big numbers. I figured some folks would try and sneak in over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
We felt the same way.
Yeah, I think that class scared a lot of people just being from Texas because there's so much, just the realm of the area. There's a bunch of fast cars. Right. And so they didn't know who was coming up, who was going to show up. And I think it just scared some people and they just didn't want to hit into it. They'd rather drop down or play with it on the big end or whatever they need to do to make it work.
Yeah, for sure.
Any fun stories from that one?
Well, we don't have any fun ones, but sadly, a friend of the family and a friend of a lot of people around here that came in second, he passed away the first day of the race and in the hotel. And, we really, really hate that for the Wasp family. And
keep them in your prayers.
So that one was a rough one. We knew it was coming, but not the passing away, but the talking of it. And I will say they came out first drag and drive to ever do, and he got to make the ultimate pass, the last pass he made, and then they hauled butt to the hotel.
After thrashing
all night, and he passed away doing what he loved.
Yeah. And he had his whole family.
Yep.
He had his son, he had his grandkids and everybody, and they all were there that day. Yep. And I remember watching them, and they were on the fence line watching the races.
Yep. Giggling, laughing,
and just having a good time. And I just remember watching this family, and I was like, this is why I do what we're doing here, is because it's about a family. We have little kids ourselves, and so it's one of those situations where I think the family finds a lot of comfort that they were all together doing something they really loved. So
that's
not to bring a sad subject into it, but we want to call out the Lost family and just
the reality of it. So.
Well, when that time comes for me, I hope I'm doing something that's
exactly
awesome as well.
Totally agree. So the next class that we had that was that we had the fastest was our limited 5.5 class.
Yep.
Yeah, that one.
Yep. So the 5.5 class looks like there was 5 cars in that one, and first place was Ryan Minyard with a 5.5966, and second place there was Tommy Snook with a 5.87.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
So first, second, and third, and fourth have all done drag and drive.
Yes.
So that was kind of cool, because
Yes.
all of them have done Rocky Mountain, and that's the races that we do. So we knew them. We got to cater to them and play with them and make fun of them and all that good stuff.
So yeah, Ryan Minyard, the 5.5 was the fastest average of the whole weekend, and so he won a belt buckle.
Yep,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
Yep.
Sorry, making that note there. You took kind of a big jump here, and I think this is probably one of the conversations you were going to talk about. But from 550, you go to 7.0. This class had a ton of folks, 15 people in this class. Top 3, I'll run through them real quick. So it's a 7.0 index. Kel Parson, 7.039. Second place, Wade Graham, 7.053. And then Jonathan Reddy Cop, 7.062 after that one. But the top 6 cars in this had a 7.0 average. That's pretty freaking awesome, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Kel had, what was it, the first drive day going in?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. She told me to be quiet.
That's a story. We're going to save that story for a good story here. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, because he was one that they got a story to tell, so it was fun. Those guys really went at it. Kel Parsons and that Jonathan Redicott and John Smith. I know when it came down to Hobbs, they were just almost hot lapping because they were just trying as hard as they could just to get in there. Yeah. So it was kind of fun to watch that class. The competition was definitely there. It was hot. So
yeah, the top 6 to have a 7.0 average, that's pretty salty.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, then we go into the 8.0, which had 20 cars in this one. Again, 8.0 index. First place, Sarah Thorpe with an 8.025. Second place, Jeremy Walmsley with an 8.029. So obviously pretty close there. And even third place, Tyler Bradley, 8.034. So really tight racing there. Again, top 8 here had an 8.0 average. This is pretty awesome.
Sarah Thorpe came from Colorado, and her car actually broke before in test and tune. So she broke, and so she wasn't able. So she drove her husband's car.
Oh, fun! Yeah, hey, the Thorpes don't jack around, man. They'll race. They're not scared of that at all. Oh, they froze up.
Sorry.
Oh, we're here.
There we go. We're back.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. Welcome to live streaming. So Sarah Thorpe drove her husband's car. Rich Thorpe, who placed on the podium later, they're drag and drive royalty. I think they've
100%
raced as a family everywhere across the country. Pretty cool for them to make that trip down to you guys. That's awesome.
Yes, it was.
It was. We were excited to have them. And
when we saw them come across there in the sign-ups, we were like, oh, that's
cool. Yeah. Yeah, and it was just great talking to them. They had a hard week, and so they did.
But you never saw them without a smile.
That's right. Yeah. And that's a big deal. So.
Oh yeah, and to beat on one car twice, and then to see what we're in 8.0 index there. Yeah, yes. So 8.0 index, and then also in a small block. Yeah, we'll talk about a small block in a minute. But that car was fast, so you have to have a driver like Sarah to be able to slow that car down
exactly
and know what you're doing. And man, to win 8.025 to an 8.029.
Yes.
She's a beast.
Yeah, she's good. She's real good.
Yeah, that was a thrill for sure.
Yeah, that was for sure. So.
And to have nearly, again, almost half the cars in that class, with an O number is pretty freaking cool. 9.0 index up next. This class really surprised me because when you start thinking about 9.0 eighth mile, you're like, man, that's kind of a slow class, but it's really not. So the jump between 8.0 and 9.0 is pretty big there. But you start thinking about those guys in a late 8-second car just slow it down, right? 9.0 had 18 cars in it. I think it probably ended up kind of like most. It's just kind of a catch-all. Anything that's slower than 9.0 is going to end up in there. Leslie Varner won that class 9.047, and then Marco Lamaglia 9.056 for that average there. So pretty awesome. 2 fast cars.
Yes, and it was really fun. Marco got second, and then Carlos, his brother, got third.
Yep.
And then they had another brother that was in another class. I don't maybe the 80 class. And so them three just continuously kind of battled it out a little bit. And it was fun. They would always turn in time slips. They'd come
running up to us. What about this? What about that? How's this work? How's that work? Like, what do I need to do? Hey, you better go out there and hit a better number. That's all I gotta say.
Well, and Eric and I had went down the rabbit hole of, do we build an app that would take everybody's time slip and just automatically turn in their best time for that, right? That's not the way to do it for Drag and Drive.
I know.
You have to, like, people need to come to the table. They need that experience. They need to have no idea what anybody else ran because their time slip isn't turned in. So
exactly,
definitely
like,
have
where
to
am
do
I
that.
going to sit? When I get to the hotel and they post all this, where am I sitting in the average now? Because I don't know where I'm at.
And just even for me, who was at the table receiving the slips, the excitement and getting to talk to the racers, that was like my chance to get to have those conversations. So
Melissa too, that's typically what her, and then Tara Fling is our other lady that does that. She same thing. They're like, we don't get to watch racing, we don't get to talk to racers, these are the times we get to talk with them.
Exactly I get it. I understand that.
And the Saki bomb there was 4th place.
It wasn't even supposed to be that car, but hey, you did all right.
Yeah.
Hey, 4th out of 18. That's pretty salty.
It was awesome. He was fun to watch. He was a what do you call that? A right-handed driver. Yeah, right-handed.
Yeah, we got to hear our kids because we have a 11, 8, and 7-year-old. And they're like, he's driving wrong.
He's on the wrong side.
He's on the wrong side.
Something's not wrong with that car.
Yeah.
So as a kid, that's one of the coolest things you can see.
Hey, I'm an adult. I think it's cool.
No, I agree. There's a yellow 56 or 7 that goes to Southeast Street, and that the guy bought it in the States, shipped it to Australia when he lived over there. They converted it to right-hand drive, and then he moved back to the States. Went ahead and kept it right-hand drive just for
Heck yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's neat.
What kind of car was Spencer's?
Oh,
Spencer's posted up.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. I can see it, but
yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, our next class was the tailgate class. This had 7 vehicles in it. First place was Marcus Macy with a 6056. Second place, Kevin Christine with a 6354. And then third place was Heinrich Peters with a 6597.
Yes. And this class was fun. I love the tailgate class. It was definitely something that I want to see. I think it's going to grow. I just have this feeling that class is going to catch on. It's going to grow. But it was a fun class. These guys were fast, and they put on a show for us. I liked it. I like this class a lot.
Yeah, there's nothing better than a fast pickup.
Absolutely. So, and Marcus Macy, really probably one of my favorite vehicles there. So it was cool.
Sweet.
Looking at his time with a 6056, was that the second quickest of the event then?
That is a great question. No, I think it was probably about 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
because Jesse Hazlitt was in front with a 604 too. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was probably about 4th. So yeah, that's quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then for the folks listening on the podcast, Spencer Page drives a 3000 GT VR4.
There you go.
Cars out there. Pretty
Sorry,
awesome.
couldn't remember. My bad, dude.
Yeah. Hey, that's all right. That's not one you see very often.
No.
I don't know if there's been any other 3000 GTs this year. I don't think I remember seeing that name. He may be the quickest 3000 GT in Drag and Drive in 2025.
And he was so upset that first day during tech and all that. He's like, well, this isn't what I wanted,
Well,
and then he had a blast.
He worked really hard. He thrashed because
did.
He had a car that was like a roller. I want to say back in May he posted, and then he worked really, really hard. And the week before he broke, and so it just stopped for him. So
I think he took it to a car show.
I think so
and
too.
they came back,
and
I might be saying this wrong. There were so many of them at the time. But I think he found shavings in the motor, and he was like, "Oh man, I can't take it." And he's like, "So Plan B, here we come."
Yeah, Plan B.
So glad he took the Plan B because it was fun and it was great.
It was either shavings or it was a rear end. I can't remember. Anyway,
well, he didn't bring them, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next up, Hot Rod and Gasser class. 4 cars in that one. Galen takes the win in that one. We've heard big stories about how he's involved here, but we'll go over that in a minute. And then Mr. Dan Palmieri, second 27 on that one. Pretty awesome. How do y'all know Galen?
That's my dad.
Galen's the one that got involved in everything, all of it, racing, drag and drive, cars, all of it.
That's cool. So he's a great influence on you.
He's a bad influence. You're 100% right.
No, great. He's good influence. He's a good influence. He brought you into a huge community family. He just helped you spend all your money on good stuff. Well, you can't be addicted to drugs or anything.
You want to know
that's
something?
the bad part of it.
You want to know what's so funny is growing up, he preached and preached and preached about Dave Ramsey to me.
Oh, yeah.
And then he got us in race cars, and there's not.
He did the whole Dave Ramsey, and then he was like, "Hey, my kids, who cares about them?" But
he said, "Because I did this Dave Ramsey, I've got all this extra money." What do you guys think about race cars?
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I don't think Dave Ramsey approves. Okay.
Yeah. Hey. Well, Dave Ramsey's boring anyways in the car world. For people that follow him for money stuff, that's fine too. But don't forget, we got to have fun with stuff too. So Dan Palmieri, I mean, big deal for him to come down. It's pretty cool to see a name that carries that much weight come down to a new event. Pretty awesome.
Dan's a really, really good friend of ours and has 100% support from the get-go.
Absolutely.
Between Circle D and just rules, route, everything in between. He's been our soundboard, one of our soundboards all the way through it. So
yeah, he's a good dude. Knows a ton about all of this stuff, not just from that world, but from doing it as well.
Yep. I'm just glad to see him hit some numbers finally. He's been pretty slow, but I mean, I'm not here to judge or nothing. But his door stayed shut, and he made some numbers, so we're doing okay.
That's awesome. Next class is the NA small block, which was 2 cars. First place, Jason Schroeder with a 6.591. And then second place, Rich Thorpe with a 7.434.
Yeah, so to see, we talked about Sarah just a minute ago in the 8.0, winning 8.0, and then that's knowing now that same car goes 740s, like that's even cooler on her part.
It really
100%.
is.
100%.
Totally.
It was very, very cool to sit there and watch them flip back and forth once everything happened the first day on Test 10 and compete, make it work. Like I said earlier, have a smile on their face the whole time.
Absolutely.
Even though knowing you drove all the way home or all the way here from Colorado, and still have a smile through the whole event, and knowing that you have to come back to the track and deal with a broken car. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm with Andy. I'd love to see Rich Guido down there as well. It goes everywhere.
And Dan saying he fixed his door.
Thank goodness.
No more bungees.
And then, so the last class we got here is the NA Big Block. 5 cars in this one. First place was Randy Hinselman with a 6.507. And then second place, Paul Blakely with a 7.19 with a 2.
Yes.
So actually that one switched up because Randy broke about 15 miles from the track and could not even limp it in.
Oh no.
Yeah, so he was a DNF.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So he was.
So Paul actually won, and then it was Dylan Ogle and then Zach Smith.
That one, we had that was another lesson learned on 100%. Our part, but it worked out. It actually worked out just fine. It definitely was a bummer to see Randy break, literally, I think he was 15, 20 miles from the track on the last day.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah,
that is brutal. Well, that leads into this next question I had for you is, what'd you learn? Let's talk about some fun stuff. What'd you learn in this one?
Do you really want to know?
I mean, I think this is fun. I would almost like to do a promoter-only line of shows because there's so much that people just don't understand about the backside of this stuff. Yep. So, yeah, I love these kind of topics here.
Classes?
Okay, go for it.
Okay, the classes, like you said, there's a big jump. There was a big jump between a 5.5 and a 7. And I really thought that I had made we made the classes where everybody could fit in somewhere. And we realized that there was a huge gap there. And I
think we were basing it off of what we thought was going to run a drag and drive in our area, right? Mm-hmm. Where in reality, we tanked that whole thing and we just made everybody work with the classes that we had, and we went on. So, hey, next year, and it's pretty much what we told everybody at the end of it, the end ceremony and all that is, hey, we got it. We learned it. We hear y'all.
we'll do
like
better.
We know what y'all want now, but just like we said from the get-go, give us grace. This is new. We're trying to figure it out. We didn't know where we're at, and now we do, or at least halfway know where we're at, I guess.
Well, and I think you guys probably learned it here too. If somebody's staying away because they don't fit, or their car, there's not a class that fits their car perfectly, they need to stay home. This isn't about that stuff yet.
Yep.
In 10 years, it will be about that kind of stuff. Right now, especially for a first year event, it's about having fun. It's about you guys are learning as much as anybody else is, probably more than what a racer is. So pretty awesome.
Especially in the area.
And honestly, if that was one of our biggest issues, I think we, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like that's something that we could work with.
And we had a really great group of racers that came in and just was like, man, I really wish you would have done this, but I'm going to hit this one, and laughed about it and walked off. And maybe at the time when we were talking to everybody, they didn't think they were really listening, but we heard everything that everybody said, and we'll come back bigger and better.
Yeah. And we have some great ideas for classes next year that's going to definitely fit in. Yeah. And I think that's going to, that we can only get better.
Yeah, 100%. And outside of classes, how surprised were you at just how welcoming people were? It truly is everybody is just they're truly. I mean, it's really probably one of the car guy vacations is probably the best way you can word it. But guys typically get very competitive at drag races, heads up drag races. These are a little more laid back, so that's pretty awesome. Jesse Hazlitt saying there, I've never ran a 5 in my life and signed up for 550. I love it, dude.
Hey.
Jesse, well, we got a class for you next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll tell some of the changes that are coming. So, let's back up. Let's actually talk about. Let me see if I got a picture for next year's deal. I don't think I do. Crap. I was going to put it up on the screen. Nope, I don't. So, tell us what the plans are for 2026.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the same tracks, but we're going to reverse it.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be October 21st through the 24th. We're going to start on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday, and we're going to go Wednesday through Saturday this year. Yeah, so a lesson we learned in all of this was
going back to the whole who won the class, who did this. Come Sunday, everybody's ready to go home. Everybody's already taken off. They're trying to get back home to go to work on Mondays. We learned it.
So we learned that, and we did a bracket race at the end, and it just seemed like everybody was just ready to go. So everybody just kind of left, And so we were like, let's make Saturday a fun day. Like everybody gets in from their last drive. We'll do, I think we might add an extra day of racing.
Oh, hold on. Yeah. Are we going to throw a 4-day average into it instead of bracket?
Oh, no. That's what
Let's go. We got to have that for the world champion points.
Are we going to get into this?
I think we should. I'm ready.
Yeah.
So
we'll bring it on. Let's do it.
We're talking about it. That's one thing that we're talking about is adding a 4th day average so we could get in on some points racing. And, we're going to make Saturday really fun. We're going to make it an award ceremony and just have a, kind of a blowout of a time, like a really fun party at the end. Yeah. And then everybody can go home Sunday. Like, let's make this a fun
let's
time.
Stay around. Let's hang out. Let's not go home so early. I get it was a Sunday. That was on us. But hang out, fellowship, and have a good time.
And then another thing that we're going to do this year is I was very, very pleased that we sold out of our 100 spots. First year, I wanted to keep it small, wanted to make sure it was manageable, something that we could do. We sold out of our 100 spots, but due to the nature of having so many new people in this area doing it, and there were a lot of first builds, a lot of people didn't make it. They broke, weren't ready, something come up, things like that. And so we only had 77 that ended up starting.
That's a pretty good number, just so you know.
Well, it's great.
Good number.
I'm still proud of it.
In percentage of 100 to 77, that's a pretty good number.
Yes.
Everything we see on the backside,
Yeah, and I'm very, very proud of that. But I definitely think that we can push that envelope a little bit, and we're going to increase that car count. We haven't set a number, but I would really like to have 150. I think that's still small, intimate, fun. People still get a lot of passes.
At a minimum, yeah.
Yeah, they still will get good amount of passes, and Yeah, we'll see, but that's
150 is a great number. That's been our last 2 years at the circuit, and like it's just what you're saying. It's not too big, it's not crazy, it's not it's very manageable. And when you go to eat at a restaurant, you take over an entire town, a small town, and everybody does fine.
Yeah, and that's why I think I want to see that those numbers grow, and so that's going to be another change coming up. So
how fun!
One thing that was really cool is that on the first drive day, we drove everybody through our hometown, like where we live today. Right?
Yeah.
Well, me and Porsche are driving, and my phone's blowing up, and I'm trying to look at it and still do what I need to do. And they're like, "Hey, man, I see all the cool cars. This is really awesome." And then all of a sudden, it's like ding, 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 ding. And I was like, "Hey, that's cool.
That is neat.
Yeah, that's cool. We brought something to the hometown that everybody kind of knew we were doing it, but really didn't know. And yet then all these cars started pulling through, and they're like, what the heck is going on right now?"
Yeah. Well, because like people can see 20 and be like, oh, yeah, okay, that was just a group. But when they see like 77 cars cruise through town, they're like, okay, something is happening.
We pulled into the local convenience store. Like our town is very small. We have one convenience store and a Dollar General. That's it. Like, that's all we got. Yeah. And so I pulled up to the convenience store and I got out and I go grab a Monster and I'm doing my thing. They're like, I don't know what's going on, but there's a bunch of hot rods running through here making a bunch of noise. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, right?
You're like, hey, do you guys need to bring in more fuel? Be ready for us.
Yeah.
Andy getting a good comment here that's good for everybody that's going to listen to this later too. Let's get the San Angelo Chamber of Commerce involved. That's a great thing we've done with the circuit. We did a block party this year with the town of Galena, Kansas, which is on Route 66. And man, they basically gave us all of downtown. So it's really cool when you start talking about block parties, racer parties, which we're going to talk about. You guys hosted a racer party. We're talking about that in a minute. Like when you start getting the towns involved, then they like somehow have a way to tell everybody stuff. I don't know. But we had a lot of local people come out and it had torrentially downpoured on us as well. Just like we drove in the rain from Tulsa to Galena. As soon as we pull into Galena, it stops raining. So after that, it was great. We still had a lot of people come out, but it would have been awesome for it to be beautiful and have everybody in downtown on the streets. So
that would be really cool.
Get your local Chamber of Commerce involved for sure.
Yeah, that rain will throw a hiccup and everything. That's kind of what we told everybody. Like, I promise, drive days are way more fun without the rain. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. We had Mega Week. There was some torrential rain.
That was miserable. I was on radios and we were going down the interstate. 18-wheelers were pushing me off the road, and I was like, I hate this. I'm never doing one of these again in my life.
Yeah, we were the idiots in the cart. So we were. So
that's right.
I brought that. Yeah. Had the cardboard up as doors and
ponchos.
Okay, ours wasn't as bad.
I don't know. I would have been a little scared on some radios. Some those semis did not care. They were like,
they didn't at all.
Yeah.
So fun.
We talked about 150 cars. We talked about some class changes, but we didn't really get into that. Like, are you willing to release some of that stuff? Like what the class changes may be?
Yeah. So one big thing that we noticed in our area is diesel guys. Them dang diesel guys.
Yeah.
Okay. We talked to a few of them that showed up that do a lot of promoting of diesel races and all that. And we're like, hey, if you give us a car count, we'll make a diesel class. 100% for y'all. We'll run it.
Yeah. The way we typically handle classes that are kind of not my normal is if we get a sponsor, hey, cool, you pay the sponsor fee, we're going to get you a class. You know what I mean? Whatever rules you want to make, as long as they make sense, we're in, buddy. So if people want to sponsor this great group of folks here with Wild West Dragon Dash, get on it. Send them, tell them what you want. Anyways, so diesel class, that would be cool.
Yes, stick shift class. A lot of people requested a stick shift class.
Oh, that damn Palmieri.
I know, Dan.
He's leading the charge.
Yeah,
absolutely. That Caperna guy really wants that stick shift class.
They did. We had a lot of people with the stick shift class, and so I'd like to see that. Obviously, we're going to do something in the sixes. I don't know what yet. I don't know if we're going to do a 6 or 650. I'm not sure.
650 was huge for us. Like 16 cars, huge.
I feel like that's a good one. I do feel like 650.
6 range was a lot of the stuff that we heard of. Man, like y'all couldn't have done this, and we're like, well, we really didn't think we were going to have that. That's what we did run with the Brown for, like, or X, Y, and Z. So
So we did I let Red Hat Scotty and Keaton and David Maxon talk me into a floating index for the 650. But again, hey, they paid the sponsor fee. I'm in. whatever we want to do. So we actually people were able to, we do stuff for charity here. So you donated extra money if you wanted to put a different number in the hat, right? So if there were 16 people in there, so there were 16 chips. And if you donated money, you got to write on your chip. But every other chip had 650 index, right? So we ended up drawing 678 or something like that. That may be something you look at, like a small floating index, and they chase that all weekend. So pretty cool.
I like that. I like that a lot.
6-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesse has it. Man, that dude, if he knows probably to the 10,000s what that car's going to run.
I don't remember how many he ran now, but I think he was on number 195 or something this year.
It was something like that. I think he did 5 drag and drive events this year. He's a beast.
Yeah, he is crazy.
Definitely would highly recommend 650. And then what about people that cruise with you? We're seeing a lot of Sick Ward, Road Week, stuff like that. You guys going to have a class similar to that, you think?
We did. We did the outlaw class.
Mm-hmm.
We did the Wild West outlaw class, and that didn't pick up as much as I wanted. But I think that's something that we have room to.
And we're just gonna we'll keep it, and definitely I think after this year, I think there's a lot of talk about it in the area, things like that. So I think we'll have more people show up and just want to follow along. That might not be just true racers, right? But they like cars, they like X, Y, and Z. So let me show up and just go cruise with a bunch of hot rods and have fun with it.
I agree completely. I think it's another great way for the community to grow because it gives an opportunity for spouses, friends that don't have a car that would be competitive in really anything but DYO and go from there. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, what haven't we talked about as far as the event goes without getting into stories and stuff? Because that's what we're going to talk about next.
Oh man.
We have registration on February the
Yeah. Oh,
cannot remember February something, so be ready February.
I think it's February 28th. I think it's a Saturday. Yeah, so we're excited.
Registration will come up and hit it, and of course, if you finish this year, you get a veteran status or however you want to say it, OG status.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to build a community. Listen, Matt Froth, props to that dude for doing that. Man, I've loved that ever since we use it at the circuit. It's really awesome to see because then you just build this continuous community. And if 70% of your people come back, it makes it so much easier because then the people that have that banner or sticker on that front windshield, those newbies know to ask those guys questions because they've done it before. Yep. And then after 3 or 4 years, you have this mix of 100 people that have done the event before. And you've only got 40 or 50 newbies to the event. And then within those, you've only got 15 or 20 that are completely new into the community.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. I agree.
I love it.
Yeah. And I think it builds the family, from the ground up. So I'm excited to see, people return, come back, bring a friend. Just keeps growing. So.
Yep.
Right, bring it on. All right, well, let's move to. I do want to show some of the pictures that I grabbed from your page. So, thought this was super cool with the skull and horns on it. Painted up Wild West Dragon Dash. Looks amazing. I love that you did the windshield banner, all that kind of cool stuff. That's a great shot. And then this is a screenshot of the shots from Jesse Fox's Pixie set for 3G video. I can't recommend enough for folks to go over to Jesse Fox's stuff. These photos are available in a high-res digital. You can purchase them right there. So go over, help this dude out. This guy traveled 40-something thousand miles this year, lived on the road in Benny the Volvo for 7 months.
Yes.
Dude is an animal. I love him. He's one of my best friends. He's so cool. And it's just awesome to see him run that thing across the country. So go support him. This is a shot of, I'm guessing, registration and driver's meeting. Bunch of folks there. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep.
And then, of course, the man, Adam Dory, in there doing his Adam Dory thing, announcing. I love the notepad there. That's probably something he keeps in his briefcase, I'm guessing. I don't know. There's other cool stuff in the briefcase he won't tell us about, but yeah, pretty awesome there. Let's see what else. Oh, and whose Suburban is this?
Oh, that's my dad's. Yeah, that's
that one and the C10 next to it.
Yeah, both of
Your
those.
dad has some class. That's a that's a classy rig there. I'm a big fan of it. Again, thanks to DeechWorks for all the stuff they do for us here at the Drag Driver Pete brand. If you guys are trying to shop and do some stuff, DeechWorks they're in there 20% off right now for some Black Friday deals. So go over, hit them, DeechWorks.com. And if it's not on sale, use code DDR10 for 10% off the entire order. I just want to say, guys, grab that share button, hit it, kick it, knock it over, whatever you got to do. We want this thing to be great tonight because we want to bring as much attention to the Wild West Dragon Dash as possible. So thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you guys and would love for you to hit that button there for us as well. And then thank you to our sponsors. This list of folks here have made this year possible, man. It's been a crazy year. We've traveled to like 17 or 18 events. I mean, it's been absolutely insane. So if you guys are doing some shopping coming up here on what is soon to be some Black Friday sales, which are kicking off really across a couple different sponsors, try and at least shop there. You don't have to spend your money there. We're not asking you to do that, but just at least get in there and shop. Summit Racing, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, AFCO Racing Products, who we're right next to conveniently at PRI, Performer Built Transmissions, Car Chains 3D, PowerTube TV for all your watching of drag and drive stuff, WAF Racing, who's in our booth with us, Sweet Patina and Racing Junk. Y'all, you can find all kinds of cool stuff over there. See a bunch of folks here. I do want to answer this one right out of the way. I'm going to break Dustin Carlington's heart, but I do not have the standings yet for Southeast Street Meet. We've got to wait for the official stuff to come from Street Meet before I can put those into the awards calculator and all that kind of stuff and do all what I do on the backside of it. And if y'all haven't, if you didn't follow Laura Vanderhoof, she went in for heart surgery the other day. So a lot of stuff going on there. I completely understand. So give me another week or so. Have been talking to Rye Klemp, who's working on getting them on that side as well. So a lot of stuff going on there. We don't want to rush them. What they've got going on is way more important. And we can get them. It just takes a little bit of time. So anyways, we're going to do that. But if you're shopping, hit those folks up.